In this video, we'll be teaching you how to start a pod pack. Whether it's your first, second, fourth, fifth, we'll give you all the information that you need to know about starting your pod packs. In this video, we'll explain how to start a pod pack using the Plantaform application, as well as starting a pod pack offline using Rejuvenate. Within the Plantaform application, it'll guide you and take you through the process, but there's a few things you need to know beforehand. Some of the materials that we recommend included here to get you started is your pod pack, your Plantaform Nutrients plus your scoop, a spoon, your user manual for further instructions, your germination domes and pod covers, a 1 liter measuring cup, 2 liter measuring cup, funnel, and some spare paper towels. Starting off with the pod box itself. As you can see here, we'll be starting an Herb Essential pod pack. On the back of your pod box, you'll see all the product details of what's included, growing and harvesting tips. If you spin the pod box around, you'll see the harvesting type of your individual pod pack, exactly the plants that the box contains, some health benefits, germination rates, and where we'd recommend to place the pods within Rejuvenate. In terms of pod placement, you can also reference our FAQ and growing guide on our own recommendations on where to place your pods within Rejuvenate, whether it's your bottom, middle, or top row. When you open the pod pack, the first thing that you'll see is the pod pack instruction sheet. This pod pack sheet will get you started on dipping your pods, connecting your pod covers and germination domes, placing them inside of Rejuvenate, and then direct you to the Plantaform application. On the front side, near the bottom, it's important to read the bottom tank fill instructions as well as the top tank fill instructions. Included here are the initial dosages of both the water and nutrients that you need to fill in the bottom tank as well as the top tank. On the back side of your pod pack sheet, you'll have your pod placement. So included within Rejuvenate on each row, it's clearly labeled from 1 to 5 on what each plant is. There's also a QR code on the back of your pod pack sheet. Within the Plantaform application, you can either manually select which pod pack that you want to grow or simply scan this QR code. Next, please follow the getting started or quick start guide instructions found within the user manual as well as on the Plantaform website. Starting off by filling up your either 1 liter or 2 liter measuring cup and then adding your Plantaform Nutrients. Your Plantaform Nutrients comes included within your Rejuvenate box for a 6-month supply with the nutrients and the nutrient scooper. On the nutrient scooper, there's different level lines, all the way from 2, 3 to 4 gram lines indicated in which match up with the instructions. For this pod pack, we'll fill up 7 liters of water and 3 grams of nutrients to the 3 gram fill line. Now that you have your 3 grams of nutrients, place it inside of the water. For optimal results, we recommend grabbing a stir spoon and stirring the mixture of water and nutrients together to combine them. Once you've stirred it for a few seconds, now it's ready to be poured into the bottom tank. To start this, you'll take off the bottom tank lid cover. To efficiently and without spill fill up your bottom tank, we highly recommend that you use a funnel during this process. You'll now grab your water nutrient mix and begin to pour it into your bottom tank. After filling, you might see a little bit of nutrient residue left over on the bottom of your cup. To make sure that you get all the nutrients inside of Rejuvenate, please use the same cup in order to refill it with the water and then continue to add all the way up to the 7 liter max fill line. Next, we'll repeat this process for the top tank, but as indicated in the pod pack instruction sheet, it's a different amount of water and nutrients. For your top tank, it has a maximum capacity of 2 liters, and at the start here for the initial fill, we'll fill it up to the 2 liter line as well as 2 grams of nutrients. Now we'll fill up the mixture in the top tank. Now that both the bottom tank and the top tank are fully filled, we'll start by adding the pods into Rejuvenate. We'll start the process by soaking the first pod in water for 5 to 10 seconds. The next step is to grab your pod and place your cover on it by clipping it together. Then add your germination dome to the top, and then your pod is ready to be inserted into Rejuvenate. Make sure that you press the pod firmly into Rejuvenate on both sides to make sure that it's flush within the hole. We'll now repeat this process for the remaining 14 pods. So both tanks have been filled and the pods have been inserted. Now it's time to get started on your growth cycle. On your pod pack sheet, you'll see the indication to scan a QR code. Now you'll open your Plantaform application and start your growth cycle. On the main screen of your Plantaform app, you'll hit Start Setup. Within the next page, you'll be able to select which pod pack you want to get started to grow manually or by scanning the QR code found on the back of the sheet. Place on your windows to all 4 corners and you're ready to get started on growing with Rejuvenate. Now in the Plantaform app, if you see your growing status set to growing, you'll know that you've successfully started your growth cycle. It's important to note that each pod pack has its own custom tailored settings. That includes germination rates, water, nutrients, lighting, and fog consumption. For this reason, it's very important that you don't mix pod packs with each other. That's it for growing your pod pack. If you have any questions, please send us an email, view more videos on our YouTube channel, or view our FAQ or growing guide for other videos on starting different pod packs.